One of my Winston Man ads was once played at a baseball park, a place where thousands of children go to celebrate their idols. I was given a bonus of $4,000. Of course, children aren't the only target of the tobacco industry. I once asked a non-smoking R.J. Reynolds executive why he didn't smoke. He laughed. He said, "We don't smoke the shit, we just sell it. We reserve that right for the young, the poor, the black, and the stupid." We're talking about two separate cultures. You got the non-smokers and the smokers. And, well, at least where I'm at, the non-smokers have become, there are times where I feel they should just sew a little cigarette patch on my shirt so everyone can identify me to a brown shirt.
Smoking's not as bad as carrying a gun.
So what are you talking about? Look at your fingers, your yellow teeth, the bad breath that kills so many different things inside a person.
Smoking is something your body doesn't want to do. I mean, you actually have to train it to do it, and until eventually you get used to it.
Nicotine takes away your freedom of choice. It makes you need it and not want it.
Bullshit.
Yeah, knowledge is valuable, but it's not the overriding issue. The overriding issue is to not get addicted and to get off it as soon as you do. It's not an easy thing.
Nicotine's worse than heroin. It's the most addictive substance in the world.
Your Surgeon of Health and Educational Welfare said that cigarettes are more addictive than cocaine. Bullshit. Bullshit. That is not the case at all.
See, alcohol can kill you when they put in pictures of car wrecks on the side of alcohol bottles. Overeating can kill you when they put in pictures of big fat dead people on the side of fucking Fritos.
Well, that's the thing. Food nowadays has way more preservatives than it did like, what, 20, 25 years ago. And if there's one thing I want to see to start strictly regulating, it is alcohol.
See, we've got all these problems in this country, like the economy.
Jesus H. Christ.
And the fact that Mr. Obama's got us in 5 wars instead of 2.
It's a capitalist society.
See, the government just need to butt the fuck out.
When Henry Waxman first brought tobacco CEO to the World Congress in 1994, they famously denied that tobacco was deadly, nicotine was addictive, or that they marketed to children. And they spent millions upon millions in lobbying and advertising in a fight back to prove every attempt as lies. We've known about this for decades, but despite the best efforts and good progress made by so many leaders and advocates with us today, the tobacco industry have generally won the day on the hill.
1994, Richard Vulcan's 50th birthday. 1994, the 40th year since the 10-year-old has picked up his first cigarette. 1994, the 37th year that he has been smoking heavily. In 1994, this gets the attention of most adults at the time.
This is a historic hearing. It is sometimes easier to invent fiction than to face the truth. Imagine our nation's outrage of 2 fully loaded jumbo jets crashed each day, killing everybody aboard.
That's the same number of Americans killed every 24 hours.
Americans want to know why.
Well, would you rather board a plane with a pilot who just smoked a cigarette, or one who just had a couple of beers, or snorted cocaine?
Americans want to know why.
Shot heroin, or popped some pills?
Americans want to know, very simply, why.
The implication is that we're somehow doing something sinister.
There's nothing sinister about it.
Moral responsibility. I think we're going to talk about that today.
I am proud to represent the thousands of men and women who have earned their livelihoods by producing these legal products. I will be damned if I see them taken to the altar to be sacrificed under political correctness.
2 fully loaded jumbo jets.
I hope today that you can tell us all why you live with, why you to have such killing that
This Congress must not turn its back on science and reason just because of a bubble of popularity. How do you expect us to go on?
The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Coffee, Mr. Chairman. Coffee contains caffeine. Are coffee drinkers drug addicts? I think not.
Today is the first step.
Regardless of what we do in the tobacco industry, our oppositions cry fault. We can do nothing right short of firing our employees and going out of business.
The old rules are out.
Should cigarettes be outlawed? Let's make no mistake about it. The goal of the anti-smoking industry is to bring back prohibition.
I just can't understand how each of you engage in an enterprise that's sure to kill some of our children.
Will adults be allowed to choose to smoke outside their own homes? Or is it time to say no? The government knows better.
Be sure to pull up the microphone. Do any of you not agree to being under oath? If not, I'd like you to rise. Will you raise your right hand?
Lori Laura Tobacco Company.
American Tobacco Company.
Liggett Group.
Archer Arch Tobacco Company.
Philip Morris USA. U.S. Tobacco Company.
Brown and Williamson Tobacco Company.
Please consider yourselves under oath.
I'd like to begin my questioning on the matter of whether or not nicotine is addictive. I'd like to just go down the row. Just yes or no, do you believe that nicotine is not addictive?
I believe that nicotine is not addictive, yes.
Cigarettes and nicotine clearly do not meet the classic definition of addiction.
We're
There
gonna
is
take-
no intoxication.
We're going to take it as a no. Time is short. Again, would you say this for the record?
I do not believe that our products or nicotine is addictive.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
I too believe that nicotine is not addictive.
do you think that people selling nicotine patches are operating a fraudulent enterprise?
For some people, it may make a difference. It's a tool to help their decision. But any one of those...
So, for some people, perhaps it is addictive?
I'm sorry, Congressman?
Would you agree that those people are addicted to nicotine?
No, sir.
Well, then what good does a patch that gives nicotine into their body do them?
Pardon me?
What is the effect of the patch on their body?
What's
the effect of the treatment if they're not addicted?
What is it? I'm sorry,
If
Congressman.
they are weaned from a nicotine with a nicotine delivery system, then how can you say that nicotine was not involved in their inability to stop smoking?
There's something more to smoking than just nicotine. It's the ritual. It's the way you associate after a meal or with a cup of coffee. But there's something more to smoking. There's pleasure and enjoyment out of smoking.
400,000 people die each year, thank you.
This is not going to be an easy day. Your universal comment that cigarette smoking is not addictive just doesn't ring true. You have compared cigarettes to tea, coffee, sugar, sweets, warm milk, cheese, chocolate, and Twinkies. It's quite a list. You and I both know that not one single American dies each year from a Twinkie.
Do you know how many die each year?
I do not know.
How can you, as a chief executive officer of a company accused of killing so many people, not know this information? How is it?
Because all of that is
Proprietary?
statistically generated data. It's epidemiological as opposed to empirical.
The experts agree that smoking causes heart disease. Do you agree?
It may.
They also agree that smoking causes lung cancer. Do you agree?
It may.
Do you know whether it does?
I do not know.
The experts also agree that smoking causes emphysema. Do you agree?
It may.
They agree that smoking causes bladder cancer, stroke, and low birth rate. Do you agree?
It may.
Do you understand how isolated you are in that belief from the entire scientific community?
Yes, I do, sir.
Do you disagree with the American Psychological Association?
Yes, I do.
And a lot of people do as well.
And do you agree with the American Psychiatric Association?
We disagree with them, yes.
All right, the World Health Organization, am I correct in saying, do you disagree with this statement?
Yes, that is correct.
This mound of evidence. Do you disagree with the American Medical Association as well?
I don't have the papers. I do not believe that cigarettes and nicotine are addictive.
Exhibit 1, clerk, would you take this down for the record?
So in addition to that mild, just little nagging physical addiction, they also have this psychological belief.
I have a composition theory. I'm a smoker and I am not a drug addict.
Exhibit 2.
What I basically came to realize from my research into the effects of heroin, cocaine, and nicotine is that nicotine is the strongest of the addictions.
Do you disagree with that statement, yes or no?
I would like to refer to his composition theory. I think that the use of heroin and cocaine and other hard drugs as a comparison...
Hopefully we'll get a yes or no answer to some of these questions.
Okay.
Exhibit 3.
My dad never got the chance to meet his 3 grandchildren. He died with a cigarette in his hand.
I do not believe that he was addicted to cigarettes. My mother has diabetes. Sugar is perhaps killing my mother. I've talked to her, I've begged her, I've pleaded with her to stay away from sugar. But having all that information and all that encouragement from her son, she makes that choice.
I'll just say, no medical experts agree with your comparison to sugar and nicotine. There is a mountain of evidence that says you are wrong.
For you to say my mother's life is not at stake is wrong as well.
I did not say that. No one in the room heard me say that, and you didn't hear me say that either. You're avoiding the question.
Exhibit 4. Exhibit 5.
I started using tobacco at age of 13. At 17, I was diagnosed with full-blown oral cancer.
Spit tobacco has not been proven as a cause of oral cancer.
Exhibit 6.
Exhibit 7.
I began smoking at 17 when I did the Lucky Strike ad. And one of the executives said to me, it will be a good thing for you to smoke if you're going to do cigarette ads. That way it will be more convincing.
Exhibit 8. Make your brothers proud, boys!
They don't kill you on the battlefield, they can kill you in the smoke. They used to put GI's ration.
There is a mountain of evidence. Report after report. Report after report after report. All on this one side. On the other side, tobacco companies.
Who else is on your side?
Quite frankly, I am appalled with the conduct of this hearing. You have invited responsible executives to dedicate their time and their honesty to the answers. I would like to think if we are going to have an exchange, a true exchange, for you to be informed rather than to make your minds up.
We hear these strong feelings about the dangerousness of the product. We hear about addiction and the threat. If cigarettes are too dangerous to be sold and they are addictive, then ban them. But let me tell you what the consequences are of banning them. Some people will quit. Some people, no matter what, will obey the law. Many will not. Many will not. And people will get those cigarettes. They get them from trunks of cars made of who knows what and sold to my kids and yours and everybody else's because criminals don't care who they sell to. And my colleagues and I, we will find other jobs somewhere where we cannot be accused of all these things.
Might hear that line again?
Because criminals don't care who they sell to.
The chief executive officers of every tobacco company in this country telling the United States Congress that they had no proof, that there was no way of knowing that smoking caused lung cancer. And my client, Richard Boken, has testified that he did not believe that the CEOs of 7 huge U.S. corporations could stand before the United States Congress and lie. He didn't believe it. He has testified that he sat at home and watched these men stand up and swear to God, under oath, in front of the United States Congress, that they did not know that smoking caused lung cancer. And Richard Boken said, you know what? I believe those guys.
My colleagues and I, we will find other jobs, somewhere where we cannot be accused of all these things.